Good morning, this is Wishwell Farms. I'm Jason. Thanks for joining me for another day of harvesting vegetables and preparing for another busy farmers market weekend. So we are nearing the end of our cantaloupe season. I just rolled 4 bins out of the cooler, and today's Friday. We're going to be selling probably 40 or so on the trailer today, and the rest of them we should be able to move pretty easily tomorrow at the farmers markets, as long as the weather is decent. We do have some rain moving in soon, which is much needed, but I don't think it's going to start until maybe Monday, Sunday or Monday. And man, we are in serious drought conditions, so any rain we can get at all would be great. But it's always nice to have a dry Saturday because, you know, Saturdays are our bread and butter, selling produce at farmers markets. So it's currently 7:30 in the morning, and I'm just wrapping up this trailer so I can get it out of the road, get a couple box trucks backed up. And the employees should be arriving here in the next half hour or so, and then we'll be heading down to harvest some sweet corn, zucchini, and probably one more bin of cantaloupes, and that might be the final one of the season. So they still look pretty nice. We got some decent size here too. It is bone dry out there, and it really has hurt our sweet corn. We're probably only going to get about 100 dozen today. So I have about a half-acre patch that's ready, which should be like 400, 500 dozen. And it is ripening unevenly. A lot of it doesn't have a good tip fill. Since I don't irrigate my sweet corn, we rely on natural rainfall, and it is really bad right now. So this could be one of our final corn harvest. I'm hopeful we can get one more next weekend, because this weekend we don't have the Worthington truck going out to our Worthington Farmers Market in Columbus, which is our biggest and best farmers market since 2001. And the reason we don't have that one this weekend is because they have something called Market Day. You would think Market Day means Farmers Market Day, but it's not. They actually shut down like 3 city blocks, the road and everything. The road will all be full of vendors and food trucks and things like that. It's more of an arts and craft type festival, and just anything and everything you can imagine. And I think like 20 or 30,000 people attend it, maybe more. And it's an all-day affair. I used to go to it way back in the day, and it wasn't part of the farmers market, so you had to sign up through the city for this special day, this special event, and pay an extra fee, and you'd have to get there like an hour early. So I'd have to be up and leaving here by like 4:30 or 5 in the morning to get there at first light to get set up. And then you got to move your truck off site, and it is a very long, hectic day. And we never did quite as good on those days as we did at the normal farmers markets. So that's why we quit doing it. I probably only went to it 4 or 5 times, and it's been 15 or 18 years since I went. So because we don't have Worthington tomorrow, we have less trucks to pack, and I don't have Powell. Last weekend was our last Saturday for doing the Powell Farmers Market. So we only have Dublin and Clintonville in this trailer. So we're down to 3 market locations now. So it kind of works out by not having a lot of sweet corn coming on right now. And we finished green beans. I only got 12 bushels of green beans in the cooler. So this will be our final weekend of green beans, most likely. And yeah, just about done with the cantaloupes. Watermelons are done. I got some on the trailer right here. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. I got just enough in the cooler for tomorrow morning for this trailer, and then watermelons will be done. So yeah, we're approaching the end very quickly. All right, let's get this thing finished up so I can get it out of the road here and get ready for the crew to show up so we can get busy harvesting and packing. I've noticed a few of these melons are getting soft. That tends to happen late in the season. The shells become softer and they bruise really easy. And I remember hitting a big bump on the way out of the field after we harvested these. The wagon it doesn't trail behind the tractor perfectly straight all the time, and it was kind of weaving to the left just a little bit as I was crossing the driveway area by my pond down below here, and the wagon tire hit a rock, and I swear I saw melons rise out of these bins when I hit that rock, and I think that bruised some of them. So it is what it is. We still got plenty of good ones though. So I haven't shown the trailer for a while, mainly because we have cut back our days that we go. You know, during the peak of the summer, during July and August, we go every day of the week. After Labor Day, we cut out Tuesdays and Thursdays. And last week we cut out Mondays and Wednesdays. So we're only going Fridays and Saturdays now. And peaches ended about 10 days ago or so. We replaced the peaches with Honeycrisp apples. This is the first year I haven't put 6 or 8 varieties of apples on the shelf. And the main reason is because there's apple orchards all around us where we set this up at, and we don't sell much. Honeycrisp seem to be the only ones that sell really well. So I just always make sure there's Honeycrisp on there. And you know, we added cabbage 2 weeks ago. Everything else is the same. Red potatoes, bell peppers, green beans, zucchini, cucumbers, and eggplant. The produce still looks really nice. There's just not a lot of it right now. Later in the season, our patches that we're picking from get smaller. The yields start going down a little bit, but everything looks fabulous still. Green beans. Now, even though this is the last harvest of our green beans, if we decide to do the trailer for one more week, I'll purchase green beans. I won't have any of my own. If we have any left over after tomorrow's farmers markets, they won't last till next Friday and Saturday. So, you know, I can put whatever I want on this trailer. And I know our friends down the road, Michael Farms in Urbana, Ohio, about a half hour from here, they'll have beans until frost. And normally I do too, but I purposely, well, maybe not purposely, I ran out of room. But it's kind of nice to be done with green beans and focus on other stuff like winter squash and just wrapping up the rest of the other things that we're still harvesting on the farm. So it would be nice to have one more week of green bean harvest, but that's okay. Bell peppers still look amazing. Lots of more red now. People love the red ones. The zucchini's about done, but the ones we have right now look amazing. As do the cucumbers and the eggplant. All right, we're out harvesting sweet corn and it is not looking too hot. I knew this coming in, but you can tell if you look at the bottom of the stalks, they're just brown and dead looking. The silks are not getting very dark. The ears are skinny. It's just classic signs of stress from lack of rain. So we are picking in these 72 rows right here. And then I have another block of 36 that's after this patch we're picking now. And then way over there, about a couple hundred yards, I have our final patch. So we still have 2 more patches after this one. But if we don't get rain this coming week, they will not amount to anything. So I'll show you what we're dealing with here. See these little miniature skinny ears? They're underdeveloped. The husk is really pale. The flag leaves are small. The silks are not getting dark. It's just classic signs of drought. That does not have anything to do with lack of nitrogen. They got plenty of nitrogen. They just weren't able to use it all properly because of the lack of rain, is my guess. You know, when we grab them, we can tell if they have that solid, blunt kind of bulge at the top. And we know they're going to be ripe enough. I'll show you what they look like. They look like they're immature, but when you peel them back, you can see it still looks pretty good. We're getting a little bit of this, unfilled tips. That's just what happens during a drought, but the corn looks really good and it tastes good. Oh yeah. You know, the one upside to drought is it intensifies the sugars in all the vegetables. So it doesn't get much sweeter than that. That's really good. I would say this is some of the worst picking of the year, except maybe the one patch where the raccoons ate 95% of the corn. But it doesn't get much worse than this. You know, you'll walk 20 feet with nothing and then find one. But I'm hopeful for this patch to turn out well still if we get some rain. I'm thinking most of this corn will look nice for next Friday. I'll show you what we got. Yeah, not too much. That might be 50 or 60 dozen. And it is getting hot. It's going to be high 80s again today. This section of the field is burnt up pretty bad. And we got some northern corn blight. I think that's what it's called. That tends to happen at the end of the season. This corn's resistant to it, but you still get it sometimes. Yeah, see, I'm walking like 20 feet without finding an ear. At least the raccoons aren't bad in this patch. I've only seen a little bit of damage. The drought is the culprit for the damage in this patch. Kind of a good spot right here. Why are you walking in front of your wheelbarrow? The most inefficient way. All right, I'm out here with Elijah and Gavin, and there is not much. They're winding down. This is all we got. One tub and 400 feet. And Elijah doesn't even have a full tub. Here's a big one. And that one got missed the other day. So that's all Elijah has, not much. But they still look nice. The plants have run their course. They look sickly. And, you know, it's just nearing the end of the season. Elijah has more room in his tub. Up here at the very beginning of the row, they look really healthy. You know, they're starting to get powdery mildew. That's what this is right here. See the white on the leaves? It starts on the undersides of the leaves, and then you start seeing it on the top. It looks like almost like frost or powdered sugar. It's called powdery mildew. It's a disease that attacks cucurbits. Cucurbits are vine crops like zucchini, cucumbers, cantaloupes, pumpkins, things like that. Once you get it, it's hard to stop it. So you want to prevent powdery mildew by keeping things sprayed. On wet, humid days, it can spread like wildfire. All right, that's it for zucchini harvest. A tub and a half, well, basically 2 tubs. Now we're gonna head over and help Stephen and Emma pick bell peppers and jalapeños. We're gonna have to go downsize a little bit or go more green. Okay, and maybe get more partial turns, whatever it takes. So it's getting harder and harder to find good bell peppers too. A lot of them have turned red and have started to rot. That tends to happen late in the season, but we still have some beautiful green peppers out here. You just gotta hunt for them a little harder. You can probably see the eggplant down there. They're looking rough. Last week's heat really did things in. All right, now the whole crew's here. We can focus on getting all these bell peppers picked. And it's gonna take a little bit to find big ones. Every once in a while, you get some nice reds without soft spots. Oh yeah.
That spot you're at right there is a really
Yeah,
good
that's a
spot.
beauty. Now, I've still been watering the eggplant and bell peppers twice a week, 6 hours at a time. So they're not deprived of water. It's the tomatoes that I haven't been irrigating because I'm afraid they'll split. So yeah, I've been irrigating the cucumbers and zucchini and all the peppers still. Cantaloupes are done. We finished cantaloupe harvest on Monday. I drove through them this morning and I only saw like 10 and they look rough. So cantaloupe season has ended. Look at these beauties right here. Every now and then you find a hot spot of just massive, perfect red peppers. And then you got some bad ones mixed in. Soft spots or too small. And if you're wondering why I don't keep those, it's because no one will buy them. Yeah, they're great for home use, but if they don't look big and beautiful, people at the farmers markets are going to pass them up and go to the next stand that has bigger, better peppers. So we got to pick number ones for the farmers markets.
This one. That one's got a bad.
Oh, wow. Look at this beautiful pepper that Emma found. That might be one of the biggest one this year.
Yeah.
And that's the way
That's what they were last year.
dozens of tubs were last year. There's still a lot of green ones coming on, so we'll have peppers till frost, but it's just getting harder and harder to find good ones late in the season. This is what happens after a big rain. You get these micro splits on the top shoulders of the red peppers. Otherwise, it's a perfect pepper. You know, I'll try to sell it, but you know, customers are going to pick that up and see that, and that's where it's going to start getting soft and rotting first. But it's a perfect pepper otherwise, so we're going to keep it. Oh boy, here we go. I just found the jackpot. I'm glad I saw this and didn't miss these. All right, we got our 6 tubs of bell peppers for this weekend. I'll go turn around and meet up with them down there. They're picking jalapeños now. Oh, these jalapeños are gorgeous. Look how huge those are. Some of the biggest I've ever grown. Late in the season, you start seeing this. Like the little micro splits that turn brown. It's not really a split. It's almost like a blemish in the skin. Probably some environmental or nutritional thing, I don't know. But there's plenty without it. My goodness, there's a pile of jalapenos out here. Man. So easy to find nice big ones too.
Make for good stuffing.
Yeah, makes me want a jalapeno popper.
You got none?
Yep.
Tear and pull those bell peppers in.
About 60
Well, that was quick. I picked like 12 and they're done. Moving on to broccoli.